Hi, welcome to the Coffee Chat Show here on Buzzin Pattaya, the show where we talk about things that are happening right here, right now, as well as general news, tips, information and advice. Now, I am in Pattaya's very own BBC studio. I kid you not. Joining me is Nick. Nick, how you doing, my man?
Good, Trevor. Good.
I'm in the most, well, camera-fied place I think I've ever been in.
Yeah, it has become that. We've turned this place up here into a studio. So this is my plan from the very beginning, what I wanted for the bar.
Wow. Well, in case you're wondering where we are, I'm actually in the Assienda Bar down Soi Chiyapoon, which is nicknamed Soi Pothole.
Anymore.
No, well,
not anymore.
Oh, no, check it out. What's that, the 53 refurb?
It is, but it seems to be the best resurface I've ever seen them do. Yeah. So it might last 2 months.
2 months if we're lucky. I mean, we're laughing and joking about it, but it's true. You know, they come down here, they resurface this whole place, and literally the first downpour, it's like,
yeah, it's going to go.
What happened to the road? Oh, it's just washed down into Soi Macau.
But they've done the whole lot of it though, apart from outside the Assienda, which is fine anyway. Yeah. But it looks good. So you know, like I say, 2 or 3 months,
brilliant.
We'll be all right.
Well, listen, thanks ever so much for inviting me. It's been fantastic to come on over and have a chat with you. We're going to do 2 parts. Part 2 is going to be all about like the Assienda Bar. You've got 2 bars, and obviously you've got an extremely successful YouTube channel which you want to talk about. But before I dig into that, I want to know a bit about you. I want to know, who is Nick? What's Nick all about?
Okay, where shall I start? Do you want to know about Thailand?
Where were you born?
I was born in Stoke-on-Trent.
Okay.
Which I kind of on the sort of border of it, sort of Pennine, Staffordshire Moorlands. Yeah, a little bit boring though. Beautiful place where I'm from. Quite sort of semi-rural, but there's not a great deal to do.
So what were you doing back there?
I've done a few things. My first career started as a sign writer, sign maker.
Okay.
Yeah, where I used to do pub pictorials. If you go to the Nag's Head or the Queen's Head and you see the sign outside, the painting, the
so you're there with the. So did you do the old paint by numbers when you were a kid?
And with the Mall stick, as they call it, on the thing like this. But then he went into like more technology, graphics and that kind of thing. But back in the old day when I first started, I did an apprenticeship for 5 years.
Wow.
It was hand-free, you know, kind of thing. Quite a skill, really.
Yeah, fair play. And so, obviously, you did that. I mean, how long did you do that for? Was that like a long
5
career?
years. I did an apprenticeship for 5 years, and I kind of moved up within the company. I think it wasn't a big company, maybe 20 people that worked there.
Yeah.
But I kind of moved to the top. When I was 21, on the day I passed out on it. I resigned.
So hang on, you've done 5 years of our graft. 5 years of going through the painstaking trouble of learning and doing all the exams, etc. Then you get to the final hurdle, you say, thank you very much, oh, by the way, I'll quit.
And my mother said, are you off your head, son?
Well, she probably didn't say it like that. She probably said it in a lot more expletive.
Yeah, she did. She went crazy. She said, I don't know what's happened to you. She was, are you taking drugs? And what's happened to you? I'm like, Mum, I've done this and I've gone to the top. I've got the whole life ahead of me. I'm 21 years old. I need to travel. I need to do something else in my life. So then I started traveling, and I think I first worked in Corfu, Greece. I did a season out there.
Was your holiday rep?
Not quite a holiday rep. I actually worked in a bar.
Oh, okay.
In a bar out there, it was actually called the Assienda.
No.
It was,
What a turn of events, eh? 21 years old, Assienda, now you're here, Assienda.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was, I did 2 seasons, that was all. I think Big Fat Best has worked at the same bar for many years, you know, doing summer seasons out there. But no, I enjoyed it. It was good. But then I moved on to Spain. Then I moved on to America and Asia.
So when did you first come to Thailand?
When I was 22 years old, and I came for a friend's wedding. Yeah, friend's wedding, and I actually had no idea what Pattaya was. My friend was getting married, and he said to me, "Do you want to come out?" And I was like, "What?" So I came out here, and it was the most eye-opening experience I've ever had at the time, because I've been used to like kind of normal places like America, Europe, but coming to South Asia is a big culture shock. And when I got here, well, it took me like, what was it? It took me nearly 3 days, 2.5 days to get here, because I flew with Aeroflot, which is probably at the time the worst airline in the world. But I didn't know this. It was just the lady on dial-a-phone said to me, "How cheap do you want it? Do you mind flying with Aeroflot?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." But the worst decision of my life. I mean, you know, it was. I had a 24-hour wait in Moscow. Then I had like a 13-hour wait in Delhi. And actually, honestly, this is true. This is the inside of the plane. There was wallpaper hanging off on the inside of the plane.
So you had wallpaper
hanging
literally hanging off in front of you.
And when he took off from Moscow airport, I was there was 2 guys on the plane. There was a German guy I met, and he sat us together. And the rest of the plane was, I don't want to stereotype, but full of turbans.
Yeah.
So he was going to India. But I swear when that plane took off, the fuselage banged the bottom, as we went up, and it was like, and the stewardesses are trying to calm me down. Stewardesses at the time, by the way, not flight attendants. They were trying to calm me down, but it put me offline for quite a few years after that.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah, it really did. And then when we got to Bangkok, you've got like if you remember the old days,
Dong Muang, yeah. Oh,
no roads here, no motorways, and it took like another 4.5, 5 hours.
I'll tell you what, isn't it true though, that the guys of you that are watching this that have never experienced Dong Muang, you've got no idea how lucky you are. I mean, that
it was one of them grim airports, and if you remember back in the old days, there was that case of like Patricia Cahill, and they got caught with drugs. Them two girls from Birmingham.
Yeah.
So that was in the not that would do that kind of thing, but that was in the back of the mind. And when you get there and you see it, it's like, whoa, wow.
Yeah. And the thing is, even I remember when I used to get the taxi, I think, right, let's go. And you'd be an hour before you've even got through Bangkok.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, how much longer are we going to be, boss? Oh, another maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
Really? Like, come on. Oh, man.
It was August when I came, and when I went through the airport, and because I've been in Greece and that where it's hot, you know, but it's a different heat here, it's dry. And when that heat hit me, I remember walking out the doors at Don Juan, the heat hit me, and I went, oh, this is not real. And I walked back inside the airport.
Yeah, and you know what? You're absolutely right. And people don't believe me when I say this. I mean, I remember used to getting off the old twin propeller airplane, get down them steps and thinking, God, get me away from that airplane, hurry up. And you'd be like, actually, that isn't the airplane.
Yeah, it's not coming off the airplane.
It was unbelievable, it really was. So you came when you were 21?
Yeah, 22.
22, sorry. And obviously you came here for your wedding. I mean, you've had the wedding experience.
Not my wedding.
When did you come back?
It was quite a while actually. It was about 8 years later, because I was actually put off flying by that experience what I had. When I was actually here and with the wedding, we'd gone up to Udon, where they kind of at the time, 29 years ago, they hadn't seen a white man.
Yeah.
So that was a nice feeling actually, to be honest with you. But the funny story is, the guy's still my best mate now, but we ended up, it was all a bit of a bizarre experience for me, and the wedding was over 3 days, and on the main day was the second day, was a Saturday, and there was like this truck with a trailer, and there was a band on it, and it was like the wedding stage.
Okay.
And it was just about to get married, and I'd had a few whiskies, and I said to me, mate, I think you're making a big mistake. And he's like, what do you mean? Bang, your head butted me.
Oh no, really?
And we're both like kind of brawling across the stage now. But on
the wedding day?
On the wedding day. But he always says to me, I'll give you that one, because they ended up splitting up and that.
Oh wow. So you came back 8 years later, after you've just been headbutted by the groom, and you've been rolling around on the floor, which I'm sure was a great welcoming party for the mother-in-law. They were looking at it going, oh, he's a nice lad. I mean, when you came back, what did you come back for?
I came back with, at the time I had a girlfriend, and she was half Thai, half English.
Yeah.
She was worked in academia at Manchester University, and I think she's now at university in Hong Kong. She's a professor.
Okay. Oh wow.
But we came with them. We could only, her family, she couldn't speak any Thai. She was totally English educated in England. Very, very beautiful actually, but half.
You've done well then.
Which was very early back in the day, 29 years.
You did well then.
Yeah. But we could only go to Jomtien. Pattaya wasn't allowed.
Oh, okay. Oh, go on there.
But that's the reason why I came back.
Yeah.
And then I think it was probably 3 or 4 years later, I was with her for about 6 years, we ended up separating. And that's when I looked online, because I was a scuba diver, and I wanted to learn how to become an instructor. Now, it takes a lot of time in the UK to do this. Yeah. So I thought there's got to be somewhere in the world where you can just do it in a course. So I Googled it, or as they say in Thailand, Googon. I Googoned it.
Yeah, Googon. Yeah. You have Googon?
And it came up with Pattaya Jomtien, the mermaids. You can do it here, and they have this course called Zero to Hero. Yeah. Which you could become, he said like 6 to 8 months you can become an instructor. You need that amount of time because you need so many dives to do it. So I thought, wow, that's perfect. So I managed to stretch it for 2 years.
2 years? Did you keep failing deliberately?
I actually had an accident. I had on the actual exam on the practical side of the exam, which was held at that posh hotel in Pratamnak, where the king stays.
Oh, down the bottom of the hill, isn't it?
Yeah, huge one. But he was in there, and the skills were in the pool, and I don't know what happened, but a tank had gone through me kind of rib. It didn't break a rib, but it gave me a lung contusion. And I didn't even know it at the time, I didn't feel it. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was puking blood everywhere. Wow. And I was in that much agony, I couldn't breathe. So I had to, and this is a funny thing, and this is why I always have insurance, because my insurance ran out. My insurance ran out the day before. And I thought, okay, I've got 2 days left. There's no point in spending 12 months insurance. And I had this accident. I ended up in Pattaya Memorial in intensive care.
How much did that set you back?
It wasn't too bad at the time. It was about 800 quid. Oh, and £600 was all the morphine what they give me.
Well, I was going to say you've done well there, because normally that'd be just you walking through the door.
I mean, honestly, I was bleeding, coming out. I was paranoid. You know, when you got blood coming out your mouth. As soon as I got in the hospital, the first thing they did is they rolled me over, looking for my passport and my wallet.
And the trouble is, I could see him doing that as well.
It's true. It's true. That's exactly what they did. And they gave me some. I said, just give me something, because I was crying. I was in that much pain. You know, anything long is really painful. And they gave me some morphine, and I just felt great. And that was why it cost me £600, because they kept saying, give me some more. We can't give you any more now, sir. You've had the max.
We've run out.
of space.
Brilliant. I mean, obviously, excluding the obvious where you've had your injury, but I mean, in general, I mean, what was Pattaya like back in the day when you were here? I mean, obviously it's changed a lot over the years, but I mean, back in the day, I mean, how was it?
It was good days, you know. I mean, we used to, because we did this dive centre, and there could be up to 200 people on these courses.
Wow.
So there was quite a lot of us, and we would like hire bat buzzies. There'd be 30 or 40 of us on the roof. Back in them days, you could get away with that kind of thing. Now the police are going to pull you over for being silly buggers. But we used to go to Walking Street, probably, and this is when it was 78 to the pound. Wow. It remained between 76 and 78 to the pound for about 2 years. For like that old period. So at the time, I had a budget of £100 per week. I used to eat out every day for that. I used to go out 2 or 3 times a week on that. That used to
on £100.
On £100 per week, yeah.
Man, that's not in a bar fine though.
It's a night out now.
Yeah. Wow. So let's recap then. So you've come over here for the wedding. You've gone back 8 years later. Came back to do your diving. Then you've gone back again.
Yep.
And then you made the choice of not just coming here for a holiday. You came here to live, didn't you? I mean, what made you do that?
Because when I qualified, I worked for a while as like a volunteer.
Yeah.
And then I got a job in PP. Okay.
Lovely.
It's always stunning. But it was beautiful. But I got sick of learning. I love diving. And then when I started becoming a teacher, I kind of fell out of love with it.
Right.
Because it became a chore and became, it's not as. I shouldn't do this, but I used to go diving. I used to do my courses with my customers, and then I'd go diving on my own, just get a boat. You're not allowed to do that really. You can, but I used to love it, just going diving on my own, just get away from it all. But I lasted 8 months to that, 8-9 months, and then I went back to the UK, and I knew at the time that you're not going to make enough money to live. Even though, in PP, to be fair, you can make quite good money diving. It depends how much work you put in. You can earn a couple of £1,000 a month, which is quite good.
Yeah.
But you're not going to earn any more. You're not going to, it's not. You have to work very hard for that, and I don't want that for the rest of my life. So I went back to the UK, and as it happened at the time, my father, he had quite a few heart attacks, and he had a business, and he could no longer work it, so I had to do it.
Nice.
And so it was kind of look how it came about. But I did that for the 8 years. Saved up money. I lived with my parents. I'd sold my house. I lived with them. I moved back with them. I thought that was a bit strange after many years, but it was great. And then I saved up my money, and then I decided that I was gonna. There was only so many years on this contract what my dad had, and it was always going to fail. So I just saved as much as I could, and then came back with that. But I did come to Thailand 4 times a year.
Right. Okay. And so obviously you're here now, Leo. I mean, how many years have you lived here now?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And mum and dad been out?
Not in these 3 years.
Right.
They've been out many times, and they love it here. But my dad got kind of, he said he don't want to travel anymore,
Yeah.
But he's a lot better now. He says he can travel, and he was meant to come last year, but obviously they can't at the moment.
And have you managed to sneak your dad down Walking Street?
Yes.
Did mum know?
No, I said to my mother one time, this is when I was living here, I said, I'm going to take you to lads' night only, Mum. And she's like, where are you taking him? I said, don't you worry, I'll look after him, I'll take him. And I took him to Walking Street, and we went to the old Sweethearts. It's not there anymore. Because I knew people in there, I got some of the girls to, go and speak to my dad.
Yeah.
But he shit himself and he ran out.
Did he?
Yeah. He ran out.
I'm not having any of this. Get me out of here.
He didn't like it at all. He was a bit too in his face.
Yeah, and never go back in there?
No, he never went back in there. He likes it here. They understand it, but I think maybe I can take him back next time.
Yeah.
But at first, I think it was a bit too much for him.
I can imagine him going back home, maybe down the local working man's club or wherever he used to go.
Telling people,
bloody hell lads, my son took me down this street.
He does, that's true.
I mean, I must admit, my mother comes out, I've actually had my mum stood in Walking Street with one of them boards saying, shag today and pay tomorrow. and I was just sitting there thinking, I'd absolutely shit myself if someone actually came out and said, come on then. I'd be like, that's my mother. Brilliant. I mean, so you've been here now, you're living here. I mean, I suppose the obvious question is, any regrets?
No, absolutely not at all. I think Pattaya in Thailand is the best country in the world. Pattaya, it's not for everybody.
No,
it's not for everybody. I mean, and I'll be honest as well. I mean, probably somebody who can say, oh, bullshit, but I'm not a kind of monger as well, and I have in the past, but I haven't been for a good 10 years or more. I understand and I respect it what it is.
Yeah, I'm the same. I must admit, people think I'm lying when I say I don't go.
Yeah,
and they're like, shut up, you live there. I'm like, exactly, that's why I don't go, because it's every day and it's boring.
Exactly, when you live here, you see it all the time. You just get used to it, and it's just normal life.
Yeah.
Which, when people come here and have never been here before, and they see like an old man walking down the street with a young girl holding hand, people go,
I know, yeah. I think fair play, don't crack on.
Well, to me, that's normal. It's just normal now, yeah?
I have this conversation so many times with people. Why should a guy, let's say, I don't know, like say 60 years old, he goes down the pub on a Sunday afternoon back in England for his meat draw and his pint of ale.
Yeah.
Why? Just come out here, mate, and have a good time.
Then
you only live once.
Then he goes back home, puts his eating on and says, come and live your life.
Yeah, exactly.
You live one time, so
exactly, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, so you've now gone from not just living here, but I mean, and we'll cover a lot more in detail in part 2 about both your bars and about the YouTube channel. But you made the decision to get into the bars. I mean, if ever someone says there's one thing never do, never get a bar in Pattaya, and you haven't got one, you've got 2. I mean, what's all that about?
Brian Flowers.
Brian!
Yeah, it was probably about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago or something. Brian contacted me and said, do you want to meet up for a meeting? And I said, yeah, okay. So we went to some dodgy shisha place where I met him, and he asked me, he said, are you interested in opening a bar? And I went, no. No. I said maybe in the future, but not at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I always said in the beginning, I am not going to open a bar. That old nut thing.
A bit like saying she's different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's not a bar girl. She's different.
Yeah, she's different. So you opened the bar. I mean, what was going through your mind when you actually really stood in front of this bar and thought, these keys are mine, and this is? I mean, what went through your mind?
I think for the first 3 months it was a bit hell, to be honest with you, because with this bar itself, it used to be a laundry, I think.
Okay.
And we had to obviously get the place licensed.
Yeah.
It cost quite a bit of money in that. And then we had lots of problems from the authorities coming and checking things all the time. And I was starting to think, is this worth it? And then people are going there and slagging you online, and then like the staff issue is always a kind of problem. That's one of the biggest problems in bars. And I learned that I thought I always treat people with respect and people nicely. And that's what I first did with my staff here. But then I realised, hang on, they take the piss out of you. They see you for a mug.
Well, I suppose if you can't speak Thai either, then that,
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak. I can get by, but obviously the girls will speak Isam amongst themselves.
Yeah.
So you've got to be careful with that one. So I changed it, and what I did is I got June who works for me. She now looks after it, and I have nothing to do with the staff side. They just say when I come in, they just say, "Oh, big boss," that's it.
Oh,
I don't get involved with it.
So now you can sit back and relax.
I've got other people to do it. Seriously, if you're going to get a bar, don't. Imagine having to control like 15, 20 girls. It's not easy.
I can't control my missus, let alone 15, 20 girls. I mean, bloody hell.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, in fairness, looking at what you've created over the last 20 years, and I guess really it's like you've gone from a holiday to like coming back here to experience working and doing your
Yeah.
diving to now having a bar. I mean, if there's someone watching the channel now and they're going to jump on an aeroplane and come out here for the very first time with all your knowledge, all your experience and all the things you've encountered over the years, what would be your nugget of wisdom to say, now listen, sit yourself down here and I'm going to talk to you for 2 minutes. I'm going to tell you this.
Don't do it. I'm joking. No, just come out here and enjoy yourself. You know, a lot of people give you advice coming out here, little things like check your bin every now and again. Yes, that used to be true, and someone used to get the bins, you know, and your bins can get padded. But with most of the bars now, you've got these electronic systems where this can't happen, and you can see every time. But everybody's got negative things about coming here, and everybody's got an opinion, and everybody tells you to do this. Just come and enjoy yourself, and just experience it yourself with these things in the back of your mind. Don't believe everything you read or hear.
Yeah. So think up here and not down there, because trust me, that will cause you all kinds of problems.
It will.
I mean, it's
because you're going to be negative before you get here, then, and you're not going to kind of believe and trust things. So, and that's not a very good way to start here, in my opinion.
No, that's very valid advice, and I agree with you. You know, you've got to keep an open mind, but like just think. Just assess things as you go. Use your own awareness. Think, is that okay, or should I go down? And otherwise you'll have a fantastic time.
Oh, you'll have the best time of your life, especially if you've never experienced Asia before or South Asia.
Oh yeah.
It's a huge culture shock. But once you get used to it, it's like, why didn't I do this years ago?
Absolutely, 100%. Well, we're going to wrap up on part 1 now, but in part 2, what I am going to talk to Nick about is a bit more about the bars. It's all well and good just buying a bar, but there's a lot more to it. There's the hours that run in, the problems, etc., like Nick's just touched on, and we're going to dig into that in a lot more detail. And also, you may or may not be aware of NDTVi. Now, that's Nick's YouTube channel. It's been going for many, many years. It's a really good go-to place. He's got like the BBC setup of the world. It's incredible, and we're going to talk about that because I'm just using my little mobile phone here and I feel quite intimidated.
Oh, don't worry about that.
But in part 2, we are going to talk about that. So please come back and have a look and see it. And if you want to check out the Assienda Bar, we'll put the links in the description below, and also a pin dropper so you know exactly where to come. And hopefully in the not too distant future, you guys can come out here and come and have a chat with Nick. He's a great guy. You'll have a really good time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trevor.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. All right, guys, that's it from us. So as always, please remember, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when we bring out a new video. Check out our Discord group. We've got over 700 people on there now. They're all in there busy talking away. We've got specific chat rooms if you need a certain question answering. We've got photos, videos. Just dive in, have a look. Diving instructor. Dive in, have a look, and I'll tell you now, honestly, you'll enjoy it. And guys, join our members area. There's more and more members joining each and every week, and basically what I'm doing is I'm going out speaking to local businesses and asking them if when you come and show your digital ID card, if they can give you some form of discount, and other perks are coming in the near future. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and please, as always, stay safe.